Meet Sarah and Jessica, best friends since college, both 25 years old, both earning $45,000 a year, both living in the same city with the same opportunities. They're practically identical in every measurable way, but Sarah makes one small decision. She'll save just $5 every single day. That's it. One coffee shop visit skipped. One unnecessary purchase avoided. $5. Jessica thinks this is pointless. What's $5 going to do? She laughs. Live a little. She spends that $5 daily on small pleasures. A fancy coffee here, a snack there. Nothing extravagant. Just $5. 10 years pass. Sarah has saved $18,250 in raw cash. But she didn't just save it, she invested it in a simple index fund earning an average 8% annual return. With compound interest, her account has grown to over $27,000. Jessica has zero savings and over $8,000 in credit card debt from all those small purchases that added up. The gap between them isn't $5, it's $35,000 and growing exponentially every single year. Same starting point, same opportunities, one microscopic daily choice, completely different financial futures. This is the compound effect in action, and it's not just about money, it's about everything. Compound effect is the principle that small, smart choices made consistently over time create radical differences in results. It's not magic, it's mathematics. Albert Einstein allegedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, and whether he actually said it or not, the sentiment is profound. When something compounds, it doesn't just add up, it multiplies. It builds upon itself. It creates exponential rather than linear growth. Think about how a virus spreads. One person infects 2 people. Those 2 infect 4. Those 4 infect 8. Within just 10 generations, over 1,000 people are infected. That's exponential growth, and it works the same way with your habits, skills, and choices. The challenge is that the compound effect is invisible at first. When you read 10 pages today, you don't suddenly become smarter. When you do 20 push-ups today, you don't suddenly become fit. When you save $5 today, you don't suddenly become wealthy. The daily action feels pointless because you can't see the result. This is where most people quit. They work hard for a few weeks, see minimal results, and conclude the effort isn't worth it, but they're quitting right before the curve bends upward. They're giving up during the most critical phase, the accumulation phase, where all the invisible groundwork is being laid. Success isn't a straight line, it's a hockey stick, flat, 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 then suddenly vertical. Understanding this pattern is essential because if you expect linear results from exponential processes, you'll always quit too early and wonder why success eludes you. Let's talk numbers, because the compound effect isn't motivational fluff, it's cold, hard math. If you improve by just 1% every single day for 1 year, you don't end up 1% better. You end up 37.78 times better. The calculation is simple. 1.01 raised to the power of 365 equals 37.78. 1% seems insignificant. It's barely noticeable. If you're running a mile in 10 minutes and you improve by 1%, you're now running it in 9 minutes and 54 seconds. You probably wouldn't even notice the difference, but sustain that 1% improvement daily, and within a year, you've transformed completely. Now flip it. If you get 1% worse every day, 0.99 raised to the power of 365 equals 0.03. You decline to nearly nothing. Same tiny percentage, opposite direction, catastrophically different outcome. This is why your daily choices matter infinitely more than you think. The Japanese have a concept called Kaizen, continuous improvement through small incremental changes. After World War E, Japanese manufacturing was in ruins. Rather than attempting massive overhauls, they focused on improving every process by tiny amounts consistently. Today, Japanese manufacturing is synonymous with quality and efficiency. Toyota didn't become dominant overnight. They became dominant through decades of 1% improvements compounded daily. Your life works the same way. You don't need to become 10 times better overnight. You just need to become marginally better than you were yesterday, then do it again tomorrow, then again the next day. Time does the rest. Here's why most people never experience the compound effect. They quit during what James Clear calls the plateau of latent potential. Imagine you're trying to break through a massive ice block with a hammer. You strike it once, nothing. You strike it again, still nothing. 10 strikes, 20 strikes, 50 strikes. The ice remains intact. You're exhausted, frustrated, feeling like your effort is worthless, so you quit. But what you didn't see was that every single strike was creating tiny fractures throughout the ice. You weren't failing, you were making progress. Invisible progress. And if you had just struck it one more time or 5 more times, the entire block would have shattered. This is the plateau of latent potential, and it's where dreams go to die. You work out for 3 weeks and see no visible change in the mirror. You write every day for 2 months and nobody reads your work. You practice guitar for 6 months and still sound mediocre. You save money diligently, but your account barely grows, so you quit, concluding the effort isn't working. But it was working. Compounding was happening beneath the surface. Your muscles were adapting. Your writing was improving. Your fingers were developing muscle memory. Your savings were accumulating interest. You just quit before the results became visible. Consider the Chinese bamboo tree. After planting the seed, you see nothing for 4 years except a tiny shoot. 4 years of watering, fertilizing, and caring for something that barely grows an inch. Then in the 5th year, the bamboo shoots up 90 feet in just 6 weeks. Did the growth happen in 6 weeks? No, it happened over 5 years. The first 4 years were spent growing complex root systems underground that could support explosive growth. Your goals work the same way. Everything we've discussed works in reverse too, and this is the part nobody wants to hear. Bad habits compound just as powerfully as good ones. That daily donut seems harmless. It's just 250 calories, right? But over a year, that's 1,250 extra calories, which translates to roughly 26 pounds of potential weight gain. One donut didn't make you overweight, 365 donuts did. Scrolling social media for just 20 minutes a day seems innocent. But that's 121 hours per year. 3 full 40-hour work weeks of your life spent watching other people live theirs. One scroll session didn't steal your productivity. 10,000 scroll sessions did. Avoiding one difficult conversation seems easier than confronting the issue. But avoid it for months, and a small misunderstanding becomes a massive resentment that destroys the relationship. One avoided conversation didn't end your relationship. Hundreds of them did. The danger of negative compounding is its subtlety. You never think this one choice will ruin my life, so you make it. Then you make it again and again. And each time it feels harmless because the consequences aren't immediate, but you're compounding in the wrong direction. You're voting for a version of yourself you don't actually want to become. Financial experts talk about opportunity cost. The $5 daily coffee doesn't just cost $5. Invested at 8% return over 30 years, that's $237,000 you'll never have. Your time has opportunity cost too. The hour you spend watching TV isn't just a lost hour, it's a lost opportunity to build a skill, deepen a relationship, or work toward a goal. Small leaks sink great ships, and right now you probably have a dozen tiny leaks slowly sinking your potential. Our brains are terrible at understanding the compound effect. And it's not our fault. We're literally wired wrong for it. Human brains evolved to prioritize immediate rewards over delayed ones because in our evolutionary past, immediate rewards meant survival. The fruit in front of you was guaranteed. The fruit that might exist next month was hypothetical. Our ancestors who ate the fruit now survived. Those who saved it for later often didn't. This survival mechanism is called temporal discounting, and it's why we choose immediate pleasure over future benefit even when we know better. A study by Stanford University found that people value $100 today significantly more than $115 in a month, even though that's an absurd return rate that no investment could match. We're also terrible at visualizing exponential growth. Show someone a linear graph and they understand it instantly. Show them an exponential curve and they consistently underestimate how quickly it accelerates. This is why pandemic spread shocked people. We couldn't intuitively grasp how just a few cases becomes millions. Additionally, we suffer from what psychologists call optimism bias. We believe we're exceptions to statistical realities. We think we can skip the compound effect and achieve. We'll be the one who writes a bestseller in 3 months, gets 6, pack abs in 4 weeks, or becomes fluent in a language over summer break. This bias makes us impatient with the slow, boring work that actually creates results. We want transformation now, and the compound effect offers transformation later. So we chase shortcuts, quick fixes, and hacks, all of which fail because they ignore the fundamental mathematics of how change actually works. Understanding these cognitive limitations doesn't make them disappear, but it helps you anticipate and compensate for them. Not all small actions compound equally. Some habits have disproportionate impact on your life. These are called keystone habits. A keystone is the central stone in an arch that holds all the other stones in place. Remove it and the entire structure collapses. Keystone habits work the same way. Change one, and it triggers a cascade of positive changes throughout your life. Exercise is perhaps the most powerful keystone habit. People who start exercising regularly often spontaneously improve their diet, sleep better, become more productive at work, have better relationships, and even manage their finances better. They don't consciously decide to change all these things. The exercise triggers a chain reaction. One study tracked people who started exercising twice weekly. Within months, without any other interventions, they were eating healthier, drinking less alcohol, smoking less, being more patient with family, using credit cards less frequently, and feeling less stressed. One habit changed everything. Other common keystone habits include making your bed each morning, which creates a sense of accomplishment that builds momentum, meal planning, which improves diet, saves money, and reduces decision fatigue, or keeping a daily journal, which increases self-awareness and emotional regulation. The key is identifying which small habit, if done consistently, would create ripples of improvement throughout your life. For some, it's waking up 30 minutes earlier. For others, it's reading before bed instead of scrolling. For many, it's simply drinking more water, which improves energy, focus, and mood. Once you've identified your keystone habit, make it so easy you can't say no. James Clear's 2-minute rule suggests starting with a version that takes less than 2 minutes. Want to become a runner? Your habit is putting on your running shoes. Want to read more? Your habit is reading 1 page. Want to meditate? Your habit is sitting on your meditation cushion. The point isn't the 2 minutes, it's establishing consistency, because consistency is what allows compounding to work its magic. Here's a controversial truth. Goals are overrated. Everyone has goals. The person with incredible results and the person with 0 results often have the same goals. They both want to lose weight, make more money, write a book, start a business. Goals don't differentiate success from failure. Systems do. A goal is wanting to run a marathon. A system is training 4 days per week. A goal is wanting to write a book. A system is writing 500 words daily. A goal is wanting financial freedom. A system is automatically investing 15% of every paycheck. Goals are about results. Systems are about processes. And here's why systems are superior. Goals create an all or nothing binary. You either achieve the goal or you don't, which means you fail every single day until you finally succeed, creating massive disappointment and demotivation. Systems create ongoing progress. Every day you execute your system, you win, regardless of the visible results. This keeps you motivated through the plateau of latent potential. Goals are temporary. Once you achieve them, the behavior often stops. People train for a marathon, run it, then stop running. They reach their goal weight, then regain it. Systems are permanent. And systems are permanent. They're about becoming the type of person who does these things, not just achieving an outcome. Goals also create anxiety about the future. Will I hit my target? Am I on track? Systems create presence. Did I execute my process today? Yes, then today was successful. So stop fixating on outcomes you can't control and start building systems you can. If you want to get fit, don't set a goal to lose 30 pounds. Build a system where you exercise 4 times weekly and eat protein with every meal. If you want wealth, don't set a goal of having $1 million. Build a system where you save and invest a fixed percentage of income automatically. Trust the compound effect to handle the results while you focus on showing up consistently for the process. We've covered a lot, so let's distill it to what matters. The life you have right now is the compound effect of choices you made months and years ago. The life you'll have in 5 years will be the compound effect of choices you make starting today. That's simultaneously sobering and empowering. Sobering because you can't blame circumstances anymore. Your daily choices created your current reality. Empowering because it means you have complete control over your future trajectory. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need motivation or inspiration or luck. You just need to identify 1 or 2 small actions that, compounded over time, will create the life you actually want. Then you need to do them every single day, especially when you don't feel like it, especially when you can't see results yet, especially when your brain screams that it's pointless. Because it's not pointless, it's planting bamboo. Here's your challenge, and I want you to take it seriously because this video means nothing without action. Choose 1 keystone habit you'll commit to for the next 90 days. Not 5 habits, not 10 goals, 1 habit. Make it small enough that you can do it even on your worst day. Make it clear and measurable so you can track it. Then track it every single day without exception. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start today, right now, the moment this video ends. because 6 months from now, you're going to arrive at that future date whether you like it or not. The only question is, who will you be when you get there? Will you be someone who wishes they'd started today, or someone who's grateful they did? The compound effect doesn't care about your intentions. It only responds to your actions. Small, boring, unsexy, consistent actions that nobody sees and nobody celebrates, but that quietly, invisibly, inevitably transform everything. That's the compound effect. That's how ordinary people create extraordinary lives. Not through dramatic transformations or lucky breaks, but through the daily discipline of doing the small things that don't seem to matter until suddenly they're the only things that did. Now go choose your habit and let time work its magic.